All right, we go everyone. Welcome everybody. Thank you all for coming. My name is Francesca Walker. I work for Creative Europe Desk UK. Today we're going to be speaking to some of the beneficiaries of our video game scheme to hear about how the funding has helped them, their companies, and help them develop some prototypes for some of their games. I won't be going through the eligibility requirements and application procedure too much in this session. We're going to have another session in a couple of weeks that will look at that, an online webinar for you. Instead, what we've done is boiled down 25 pages of guidelines into 2 pages within this booklet for you to be able to determine whether you're eligible or not. And I'm, of course, happy to answer any questions you have either at the end of the session or of drinks later towards the end. Before that, I just want to give a little bit of background on Creative Europe and the work that we do in our office. I'll then pass over to Gina, who's going to introduce the panel. And then at the end, I'll come back just to give you a few tips on what to do if you are thinking of submitting an application. So this is Creative Europe Desk UK. We're 9 people based in different organisations across the UK and working on the 2 different sub-programmes of Creative Europe. There's the media sub-programme and the culture sub-programme. I'm based at the BFI in London and I work specifically on the media programme. So that's the support for film, TV and video games. It's our role to promote the funding to UK professionals, encourage people to apply, and we're there also to offer advice and support with your applications so that the UK gets the most benefit out of the programme as possible. We do this through workshops and seminars such as this, a dedicated website, a newsletter, social media channels, and then we also offer more detailed feedback and application support. We're there to answer your inquiries leading up to the deadline and can offer sort of one-to-one assistance with your application and take a look at it before it's sent in. A key thing to note is that we don't evaluate the submissions. That's done centrally in Brussels. So there's a team of people at the executive agency there who are assessing your projects based on the eligibility criteria, making sure you meet all the requirements. And then they work in parallel with a number of experts from the video games industry who are assessing your applications based on the award criteria that we provide them with. So that's all made public. You can see quite easily how points are scored within the application, and it's simply a case of the top scoring projects that go through. So it's a European Commission funded programme. The programme itself runs for 7 years. It launched in 2014 and will run to 2020. So right now we're in the halfway point of this particular programme. You can see the amount of funding over those 7 years and the split between media sub-programme and the culture sub-programme. Culture is the kind of theatre, arts, dance, architecture, design world that we also support through this. We also have a cross-sectoral strand, which features some one-off calls targeting specific priorities. We had a call for projects that looked at refugee integration last year. And it also will roll out this year a guarantee facility, which should encourage banks to loan to cultural and creative SMEs like yourselves. So within the media sub-programme, just to give you a bit of an overview, there's 14 different schemes that audiovisual professionals can apply for. Obviously today we're looking at video games, so all the support we have for content creators is in that left-hand column. The video game scheme this year has a total budget of 3.8 million euros, and that's nearly a 40% increase on last year's total, so it's good to see that figure going up. The funding's there to support the development of narrative games. I've started to call it a kind of early prototype fund because it really is from that initial concept or idea to your first playable prototype that we fund. But it can also fund a few extras, so things like travel to conferences, accreditation fees, pitching materials, that kind of thing. The whole idea behind the scheme is that it's helping you to put together a really attractive package that you could then take to look for further investment for your game. There's no cultural test. The projects don't need to be European in any way. The team on the project doesn't even really need to be European, but the company does. And what we're really looking for is new and innovative ways to tell interesting stories. I also want to draw your attention to the training and networks column. These are grants that go to the organisers of events and training courses. And we've pulled out a few examples in this brochure as well for ones that relate directly to the video games industry. So it's important to know that there is other support throughout the programme to help you build your networks and improve your skills, that kind of thing. So the B word, you're probably thinking that's all really nice and it'll do for this year, but what next? Well, nothing changes in relation to the UK's participation in Creative Europe, at least until we leave, until we've officially left the EU. So that could be 2 years from the trigger of Article 50. It could, even when we do leave, it's not completely outside the realm of possibility that the UK could still participate in the programme. There are a number of non-EU member states, such as Norway, Iceland, Albania, Ukraine, that do have participation in the programme. So it could be within the negotiations of exiting the EU that comes into play. But as for now, there's a few unknowns there. For that reason, I also wanted to briefly highlight the fact that there's now an open public consultation running until the 16th of April that forms part of the midterm evaluation of the programme. As I said, we're at that halfway point right now. So this comes in the form of an online survey, and it gives you a chance to air your views on the programme as it stands right now, and perhaps offer some suggestions for what you think a successor programme could look like post-2020. So if you think that we're not focusing on the right kind of things, if this scheme that we're talking about today doesn't really address the needs of the industry, if you'd like to see other areas kind of maybe given more support or focus, that's the place to do it. And we'll be putting details up on our website in the news section later today of that.